Central government had passed three farming laws in September 2020, namely Farmers Produce Trade and Commerce Act, Farmers Agreement of Price Assurance Act, and Farm Services and the Essential Commodities Act. These have triggered a sense of insecurity amongst farmers, and primarily farming community from Punjab and Haryana are up in arms. Why are the farmers agitating in Delhi?
The three legislations enacted by Parliament in September do not directly threaten the current regime of MSP, which is primarily for wheat and rice. But in the last 5-6 years, a substantial quantity of pulses have also been procured. Cotton procurement has gone on for long years, and sugarcane is completely regulated, even though it is not procured by the government, but the mechanism is the same, where the government fixes up the price and the private sugar mills and the cooperatives and public sector sugar mills are supposed to buy at the price fixed by the government. The legislations do not mention the word minimum support price, but the fear in farmers' mind, especially in Punjab and Haryana, which have seen the benefits of procurement over many decades, the fear is that the government may do away with that. And this fear comes from recommendations of various expert committees which have been set up in different governments over the years. And they have argued that the current regime of open-ended procurement should change because the government is paying a very heavy carrying cost for excessive food grains which are procured.
Is the prevalence of MSP hurting the food supply chain?
Well, I'm not very sure if India has large surpluses, except in case of wheat and rice. And we know that we have had to import maize 2 years back. We are importing pulses almost every year. We are importing about 65% of our edible oils. This year we had to import onion. We have also imported potato from Bhutan. So, and in any case, a lot of these surpluses look surpluses because a vast number of Indians are not able to afford the food they want to eat. The projections of 2032-33 also bring out that efforts are needed to remain food secure. Now, it is true that because of the open procurement, for example, last year the government procured some 80 million tons of food grains, while the offtake from PDS and other welfare schemes is about 65 million tons. So there is excessive procurement which burdens the government's finances and also causes shortage of storage capacity. Having said this, the MSP regime does offer a fair and remunerative income to farmers whose crops are procured, and that is why they think that if this regime is tampered with, they will stand to lose and their income may go down by 30 to 40%. They quote the example of Bihar, UP and other states, West Bengal, where the market prices of rice, market prices of paddy, for example, or wheat in Bihar or maize in Bihar, they remain much below the MSPs. We have seen all this in the last few years, especially from 2015 to 2018, when the prices of pulses were also low and Madhya Pradesh saw an agitation because of low prices. So, to sum up, we can say that there is distortion caused due to excessive procurement, but the farmers' fear is also a reality which has to be acknowledged.
If MSP is the holy grail, then why do we see farmer distress in vegetable production segments?
It should be very clear that MSP regime works only for a few crops, and for perishable crops, fruits and vegetables, there is no MSP and there is no procurement. except last year when the government said that it will procure apples in Jammu and Kashmir when Article 370 was changed. So that was also not successful. So that is what the farmers of Punjab and Haryana who grow wheat and paddy and sell to government at MSP, that is what they fear. They see the volatility experienced by farmers growing other crops, especially the farmers of fruits and vegetables. In Malerkotla region of Punjab, a lot of vegetables are grown. So there is huge volatility. Now the farmers who grow wheat and paddy do not experience this volatility. Of course, for reducing the volatility in fruits and vegetables, a lot of investment is needed. The consuming centers need to be connected to producing centers, etc. That is a subject in itself, how to reduce volatility of fruits and vegetables. That is primarily due to constraints. And I must say that the ordinance relating to the marketing reforms, which permits trading outside the APMC areas, in my view, will help the farmers of perishable products, because now it will be easier for organized retail and even other retailers to buy from farmers outside the APMCs and not pay any taxes. Most of these states have already exempted fruits and vegetables from market fee and other charges applicable to transactions within mandis. So I think this legislation will be beneficial for the farmers who grow vegetables and fruits.
Does restriction of procurement of crops from one state hurt farmers in other states, as is presumably happening in Punjab and Haryana?
We should realize that the current system of procurement allows every state to procure any quantity of wheat and paddy. There is no restriction on procurement of wheat and paddy in any state. I have seen tweets by some leading editors of newspapers in which it has been argued that Punjab is procuring so much percent of production, so UP should also be allowed. UP is already allowed. Bihar is already allowed. If they are not able to procure that much of quantity as a percentage of production, it is not the center which is driving that. That is poor performance by the state governments. And we have seen several states doing a good job in the last 10 years, especially since 2006. After the food crisis, Odisha, Chhattisgarh, Madhya Pradesh ramped up their procurement systems, Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, and now their farmers of paddy are able to get MSP, which they were not getting earlier. So it is not correct to say that Punjab is being benefited in any way by the government of India. If the farmers of UP or farmers of Bihar are not getting MSP, it is for the state governments to take action and ramp up. In fact, almost all the government committees and independent study reports have argued for higher procurement in Bihar, Eastern UP and other states, West Bengal, Northeast, etc., so that the farmers there can also realize MSP.
Will there be a confrontation among farmers if they reach out to other mandis?
There is no scope for any confrontation. If a corporate wants to buy onion from Nashik outside the APMCs, I don't think farmers will mind it. The problem is now that the APMC bypass law proposes to make the transactions outside the APMCs free of any tax. The fear is that over a period of time, the arrivals in these mandis will go down and then APMC structure will weaken. So that is what is feared by the farmers in many states.
How effective has been the role of adatyas or middlemen?
I am of the view that nobody can provoke lakhs of farmers to protest. So anyone who thinks that farmers are misled or they are anti-national, etc., is himself doing a great disservice to agriculture and especially the hard-working Punjab farmers, Haryana farmers, UP farmers who have provided food security to India for over 4 decades. Now, I have written about it. The Punjab and Haryana have fixed 2.5% commission to adatyas on MSP. It is not justified to link it to MSP, and my view has been and I have written, in fact, I chaired a committee when I was in the government in which I have argued, and even now I say the same thing, that the commission agents should not be pegged to MSP because their services do not improve year after year. It should be linked, it should be fixed at a certain amount and remain there for some years. So I think Adatyas do not deserve to get 2.5% of MSP and get an increase every year as the MSP is also increased.
Are farm subsidies hurting the food supply chain?
Subsidies on agriculture cannot be fully removed. No country has been able to entirely remove all the subsidies on agriculture, except I think New Zealand, but there the number of people dependent on agriculture is very small, minuscule. But all other countries have to subsidize their agriculture. And in fact, the subsidies in India are much lower than the subsidies in Western countries. However, what the economists are arguing is that instead of subsidies causing distortion due to their commodity-specific nature, you are procuring wheat and paddy, but you are not procuring pulses and oilseeds. So farmers prefer growing wheat and paddy where they get a better price and therefore earn a higher income. And the farmers prefer growing sugarcane. This causes distortion. So the economists have been arguing for a long time that instead of subsidies, the government should give direct income support. Earlier, China, for example, also used to procure for and maintain a very large buffer stock. But in the last 5-6 years, they have also switched to direct income support to farmers. So subsidies, to sum up, we should be very clear that subsidies are going to continue. We need to support our agriculture. And Atmanirbharta, if you need in any sector more than anything else, it is in agriculture. Not only Atmanirbhar, but we also need to produce for the world, create surpluses, improve our productivity, improve our supply chain so that we can export to other countries also.